Would you like to talk about our police meeting just briefly?
Sure. Well, we met, the minutes, you got the minutes, I think are there, pretty self-explanatory. The county board chairman was there and he gave us a cost breakdown, which is a pretty good increase from what he initially proposed. And I, for some reason, I didn't bring that, oh, here it is. We kind of decided to postpone any official action on this, at least for a while, because of the cost of it. And the Anarga doesn't seem like they want to have any increase in their cost whatsoever. So they pretty much are out. And I guess pretty much Gilman is too. Now, the sheriff was there at the meeting, and he agreed to maintain things like he has been since August when Jason left, that they've been handling all the calls, they've been here on patrol, you know, during the time they're here for the calls, and they've been present for that. And basically, we just kind of left it at that. There really wasn't any, progress made, really, and there wasn't any final decisions made at that meeting, but afterwards it was kind of informally agreed that we just kind of stay with what we're doing and see how that goes for us.
Is it costing us now for what they're doing?
No. See, that's what, I think Anarga and so if Gilman and Anarga and Wapsick, anybody decided that they were no longer gonna have their own police department, the county has to take that population and all the calls and provide the police service. So that's just part of the sheriff's office function. So,
The only thing basically we don't get is the visual
yeah,
of seeing policemen.
yeah, we don't have a policeman in uniform with our uniform driving a Gilman car, but we do have,
Protection.
yeah, sure, we got the county is, and like I say often, Gilman is the only town in the entire county that has restaurants open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So the policemen are gonna come here. We gotta access, the busiest access on the interstate.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have police presence here whether we like it or not, basically. And the only thing we don't have that is ordinance enforcement. But we've already talked about hiring an ordinance officer, and that's coming along okay, I think. I mean,
We have a good candidate.
so that'll be, that'll be something that's, now the county did say that they would come in and enforce the abandoned vehicle ordinance. They just need to know, they don't wanna come in and look for them,
Yeah.
necessarily, but if you see some on your side of town that you'd like to have somebody tag or whatever, the county will come in and do that. They don't wanna enforce the burning ordinances and the junk in the yard and stuff like that, you know. So, that's where we're at. And, so.
I think I've briefly spoken to a good candidate, and I won't say who it is right now until we get a little bit further into it. But I think he's even willing to do if we gave him the authority to do the vehicles too.
Oh.
I did speak to him last week. So I told him we'd talk again before our next meeting, because I said we don't usually start anything until mid-March or April anyway. So.
John, sure you never heard back from,
No.
and do they meet?
Well, I called him and told him that we wouldn't even do the 40-hour option, because that was another option. I said, don't waste your time figuring out.
When's their meeting, the county?
The full board?
Yeah,
Oh, it's the first Tuesday, or second Tuesday of the month.
That's tomorrow.
tomorrow,
Should be tomorrow, yeah.
so maybe you'll hear something back after that.
I don't think so, but maybe you will.
I think the only, there's some disagreement at the county level
That's the way I picked up.
with regard to some new hires they had, opposed to what they thought they were gonna do with their existing people. That's got nothing to do with Gilman's contract or Narga's contract, that's all the county thing, the county deal. I will, I say this often, and it doesn't matter too much, but, the county has less officers now than they did when I started there in 1977. So, that's the county board's, the county board created that.
I think this Scott thing would really take a hold once, if they ever got it started and ironed out. Cause all these little towns aren't nothing but stepping stones for,
Mike, I couldn't agree with you anymore. You're absolutely right about that.
Well, they're doing it all around us.
Yeah. I came through Ashcombe the other night, and the Ashcombe squad truck was there, actually it says Ash Cliff Police, Ashcombe and Clifton. Kankakee County contracts with Chevance, and they cover the Iroquois County side of Chevance. After that contract took effect, the bank on the Iroquois County side got robbed. It was handled by the Kankakee County Sheriff's Office.
that's true, I've kind of forgot about that.
Remember that? So it works. It works in St. Joe has it, Savoy has it, Fairbury and Forest have it.
Champaign County, I think.
Champaign County has a lot of it works.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to say, let's try it.
Yeah,
Well, you know, and this deal here, really, is, to me, the county's got the best deal.
Bill made the best point at that meeting of anybody at the meeting. And I'm not putting words in your mouth, you tell him what you said, because, I mean, basically, he said the county's getting a very good deal.
Yeah. I mean, what they was wanting to tack on to us and to an Argo was an additional almost 16,000 for us and 11,000 for an Argo. And my point to them was, if they was to pick up that 20-some thousand and put it on their figure, they're kind of right there where we are, as far as dollars go. And, you know, Gilman's funding a really good percentage of that at 72,000. I mean, we are getting 60% of the coverage, but the dollars, we're setting, you know, we're setting at half the total figure up here.
Yeah.
Gilman's funding half of it. And then, so the county, they're getting 2 officers added to their department. Gilman's funding half of that.
That's right.
And that's a great deal. If I was on the county board, I'd be going, that's a really good deal.
yeah, let's get that done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sign that.
Yeah.
And that was my point to them, you know, and, you know,
The one, I think the one way to look at this is to be flexible
right,
when you go into a contract like that and realize that you contract with the county for 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 80 hours a week, whatever, but understand that that person may not come to Gilman and spend the whole 10 hours or 8 hours just driving around Gilman. He may be in Gilman for 2 hours, then get called away somewhere else and then come back. you know? So that's just the way it is.
And I think, Rick, from our very first meeting, you made it really clear that we're not wanting to hold you to, at that time, we were talking about 50/50.
Right.
And Rick says, we're not holding you to where we gotta have it.
Exactly.
half the time.
Yeah.
You know, if some weeks they spend, you know, majority of their time in Anarga, they just have a lot of stuff. We're not sitting here counting time.
Right.
And at the 60/40, we still aren't. But, you know we got them right here, and if they're in Anarga and we have something going on, they can be here in 3 minutes, you know. But, I just think it's a good deal for Anarga, it's a really good deal for the county, it's a good deal for us if we're at that figure. But, what got, you know, it was a couple months ago, they come back and wanted to throw another 5,000 or 6,000 on us, which we kind of accepted.
Yeah.
We were flexible enough to, but then they come back again and they're wanting to throw 16,000 more.
What's the reason for that?
Well,
They added car expense, which they did have in
Gas.
the first one, gas, training,
still the administration fee, or the dispatch fee.
They're
dispatch
throwing
fee.
the $2,200
Yeah,
Nikon
which
fee.
is asinine.
Yeah.
What it looks like to me is like they're wanting to put 2 cops on and make Gilman pay for the greatest majority of it. Anarga's gonna pick up the next amount, and then we're gonna be into it for this, a little bit. You know, and it's kind of not a shared deal, you know. And you know, any one of these two, for a major emergency, can leave Gilman and Arga and maybe be gone for the whole shift.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
if it's a big emergency. So that's a benefit for the county. You know. And, I think, you know, if we stay like what we are, you know, and the county would have to
Come down.
eventually hire the officers themselves. And they gotta somewhere along the line think that we're gonna suffer all those expenses ourselves. When are we gonna collect the revenue to do it? You know?
Yeah, that's right.
They gotta think that, I would think.
You're thinking they might come down on their
Well, I'm
price.
thinking they may come back and just go, we'll do that
Yeah, yeah.
up here without adding that.
Well, yeah, I would think that
You would-
they might even lower it.
Yeah, I don't know if you get them to lower it, but.
Maybe not till you get a new county board chairman.
Yeah, could be. But I think the sheriff, Derek,
Yeah.
he understands.
He
Really
has very,
does. And I think he goes to bat for us, I really do.
he does, and the one thing in this fee increase that John put in here that the sheriff absolutely disagrees with is the dispatch fee. He said there's no way he'd agree to a contract where the county's charging a dispatch fee for them to send their own people
Correct.
to our town. You know, and then they want us to pay for a squad car that's only gonna be here a certain portion of the day. And we pay
Or
for
not
it.
at all.
Or not at all, exactly. So,
Well, Anarga, they set what the maximum amount they were gonna spend, and they've told me that a couple, and they reiterated that last week when I talked to Shane, so, I don't know that.
Yeah, they had their minds made up on
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
They would go 48.5.
Right.
Is what they said.
yeah,
That was it.
that's the number he said. So,
I guess it's their move if they wanna come back to us.
yeah, we're just gonna sit tight and. wait.
Well, and I don't think the whole board's in agreement with what they're wanting to do.
The county board, you mean?
Yeah.
No, they're not. They talked about that.
The
Okay,
problem with that, Mike, is that the balance of power at the county board is not with those who agree with us.
Correct.
It would be if the attendance at the county board members was, or of the county board meetings was better. The votes may be there, but the county board attendance is, from what I'm told, is not good.
That was surprising.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Well, I think it's frustration. And the fact that they have, all their meetings are in the daytime. And they have a lot of meetings. They have committee meetings and when you have a kind of a board made up of, phone there, Rick.
Okay.
People, like, for instance, if you was on a county board, you wouldn't want to leave your business and go over there for half a day. You couldn't do it. So I think that's part of the problem, is frustration, but that's all, I can't remember a time when it wasn't like that. Just, the names changed, but the philosophy doesn't. Sorry.
Okay, we're done. One more thing I have, and I'm done. We received an email today from